to be reviewing the Dreamfly HC628. LHI sells this on Amazon. That is advertised to have 2.4 gigahertz control transmitter, Wi-Fi control transmitter on a smart device, as well as voice control, which is something new. And the app that they want to use, that they recommend using for the quadcopter, actually has a follow the finger where it looks like you can draw the path for the quad. It does have a camera on there. As you can see with the orange and black, it looks very, very similar to a quadcopter out there that has GPS and 4K. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but this is not to be compared to that for sure. It's much, much lower end. I've already had it out of the box, but I'll show you what it looks like coming out of the box. I haven't flown it yet. I just took it out of the box so I could look at the instructions. Instructions are two sets. You got a book with very basic information in there. It talks about the battery charger, and it says that there would be a light turning green when the battery is saturated, and it takes 70 to 90 minutes to charge. I don't know about green. My charger was a red LED, and the way mine worked was that I plugged it in to the USB plug to the wall. It was red on the charger with no battery connected. Excuse me. Connected to battery, and the light went off. When the battery was fully charged, the red light on the charger came back on. So I think their instructions are a little misleading there. It's a very, very basic excuse me, set of information. I do notice the controls. It's a little bit different. It's more of a game style controller with your joysticks in the bottom corners. And the trim control, or fine tuning, whatever you want to call it, being a long-time RCer, I call it trim, is the D-pad up here on the left. That's completely different than what I'm used to or anything else I've flown. Then there's 4 buttons on the side of the controller that will tell you what it does, as well as some buttons on the shoulder pads. The controller does take 4 AAA batteries, not included. So just be sure to always read your manuals before you start to fly something. The second set of manuals is information about the app to download to your smart device. I'll be using an older Android Moto X phone. So here's the quadcopter. You can see it folds up. You do have to manually pull the arms out and manually close the arms in. Here's a camera. It rotates to be pointing straight down or to roughly, you get a nice little angle. It looks like I've got a little piece of plastic around the camera lens that's kind of showing, popping up. And I'm sorry if it's coming out of frame. I'm trying a new battery hatch here. The battery included is a 1S 600 milliamp with this style connector, so you're familiar with the Hubsan brand of quadcopters, the Proto X F1, Proto X FPV. They're all similar. It's like plastic body. You got the power button right there on the top of the quad, and to fold it back up, I think there's a very certain specific way. As you can see, the props don't line up 100%. You have to do a little finagling with it to get it to line up just right. So that's a little cumbersome. If you just want a quick fold up, you can see I had to play with the props to get them to line up in there. So it's not a good exact engineering fit. Never leave your batteries in your craft. It's always good to put them in a lifeless safe sack. So inside of here, here's a USB charger. Over here is where the red LED will come on when it's charging and turn off. Oh, excuse me, I have that backwards. The red LED will be on here when the battery is fully charged. Spare prop, you only get 2 instead of 4, which is a little disappointing. Usually I see 4 props. This is only 2. You do get a little screwdriver. One thing I failed to mention There is a screw for the battery bay on the back of the quadcopter. I find that annoying because you're constantly going to have to be taking battery in and out. So I went ahead and removed the screw completely. Here's a smartphone holder for the transmitter, spring loaded. I haven't measured that to tell you exactly how wide that will fit. Here's the transmitter. I've already taken the battery hatch off, and again, there's a screw that helps hold the battery hatch on the back. I find those very annoying, highly annoying, just because of having to take batteries in and out. So I just removed the screw altogether. Your camera holder will slide on just like that. You have your power button, and it's pressed down, it's depressed, it's on, up, it's off. And your joysticks here. This is a altitude hold, barometer hold quad, so your throttle stick is more self-centers. And that's it. That's what's in the box for the Dreamfly HC628. Forward, 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 forward. Landing. Wi-Fi control. See how I can get it up, get it stable enough. Stop, follow the finger to work. Into the grass. Not for anyone with inexperience with flying quadcopters. I say this because the instruction manual is a joke. Arming sequence is not mentioned at all. The range is very, very limited. I found the range to be about 50 feet. The return to home is very simple. It just tries to fly in a straight line based on orientation where it thinks it took off. It's not GPS, so be careful. Return to home will either fly away from you or it will hit stuff. It will not come directly back to home. Voice control, it works, but it's limited. You gotta be very clear, very concise to get. And I found arm instead of take off worked better for it to arm and take off. And then it's left side, right side, forward, backward, and stop, land. It worked. It's limited. My problem with the quad was that it always wants to drift forward, severely forward. Maybe I gotta recalibrate the gyros every time. I don't know, but the drifting forward makes it very hard to even try to throw it up to take pictures. Follow me control, where you can draw a path on your smart device. It works, but again, no obstacle avoidance. You know, if your altitude's not too high, if the quad's always drifting forward, it's kind of hard for it to do it exactly right. The Dreamfly HC628, it's better than some other cheap selfie drones I've reviewed. It's still not a hobby grade. It's still not top of the line. But with that, my recommendation would be, if somebody just wants something cheap to throw up in the air just to get a quick fix in, it might work for you. But you know, you're going to be limited in your range. It's going to take some getting used to. You're going to have to consult the manual, or actually just throw the manual out and figure it out yourself. The battery comes down extremely hot after 5 minutes, so there's no airflow over the battery. Do I recommend this quad? Not entirely, just because of the little quirks that I found.